told you when to run. You missed the starting gun.
I love Doctor Who. I really do. But it has its fair share of bad episodes. And I've been wanting to tackle this one since pretty much a year out, when I didn't have to worry about the spoilers anymore. This was a Hallmark episode. It was the end of an era. We had the 10th Doctor leaving the show, and if that wasn't enough, the executive producer of 4 years at that point, Russell T Davies, was also leaving the show. And so, a send-off episode was planned. One that would pit the Doctor against his longtime enemy, the Master. One that would delve into their past and answer unexplored questions. One that would shake the universe with its very awesomeness. And I'm not going to lie to you, it sucked.
That's not in the script.
I don't care if it's not in the script. It sucked.
Seriously, what is the point of my even writing a script if you're not even going to look at it?
Okay, maybe I am being a little unfair here. Davies set out to write a script full of action and pathos and general epicry. And there are some good scenes here. It's just that they're strung together with plot devices and cheap gimmicks that don't even stand up to
Remo Williams, Ram. My script was
really
for Remo
Williams.
Surprising.
Russell T Davies has a long history
Hell,
with
let's
such
get this over
glorified
with.
Devices and, hey!
Where are we? Albie says, let's just get this over with, and rips the script from... How the... Oh, you just wait till Chun gets a hold of you. Russell T Davies has a long history of such great writing techniques as meaningless repetition, overly cryptic and downright misleading dialogue, and enough technobabble to put Voyager to shame. He actually used some of these to good effect in the beginning, but as the years passed, he wrote less and less plot and used more and more filler, until by the end of the 4th season, you got...
Didn't I ever tell you? Best temp in Chiswick? 100 words per minute?
Ha! Explain!
Yeah. And the less said about that, the better.
But if you thought Stolen Earth was bad, brace yourself, because Bohica, here we come. So, the show begins with this rambling, incoherent narration by Timothy Dalton that just fails on so many levels.
It is said that in the final days of planet Earth, everyone had bad dreams. At the west of the north of that world, the human race did gather in the celebration of a pagan rite to banish the cold and the dark.
Classy!
Each and every one of those people had dreamt of the terrible things to come, but they forgot. Because they must. They forgot their nightmares of fire and war and insanity. They forgot. Except for one.
Yes, meet Wilfred, friend of the Doctor, and the only person who can remember these bad dreams. He walks into a cathedral where an unsupervised children's choir is singing at the wall, and marvels that the Doctor's ship has been slapped into a stained glass window with about the same grace and fluidity of a Hot Wheels car jammed into a wedding cake. By a 5-year-old, who probably didn't even wash his hands. Then, some random woman shows up.
We'll call her the Ghost of Plot Device Past, because it's a Christmas episode.
And tells him some generic story of the Doctor saving a convent. Then she mysteriously vanishes. Wilfred remembers his dreams again, and we cut to the opening credits. Was that an intro or some sort of avant-garde commercial?
Confusion, a new fragrance from Calvin Klein.
Aha! I've planned for this. I've had my tech crew whip up a handy little device that'll cut through all the bullshit and give us the salient points in any scene.
What the... This is a carbon monoxide detector. Don't we need this to prevent, death?
I don't know about you, but I'd die without something like this. And the salient points are...
that's all?
Wait, I had the anti-spoiler switch on.
Scientific progress goes boink. Moving on. The Doctor lands on the planet of the Ood and proceeds to give a bad comedic stand-up routine.
Got married. That was a mistake. Good Queen Bess. And let me tell you, her nickname is no longer... Anyway.
In fairness, this behavior is probably due to his imminent death. See, the Doctor keeps running into cryptic prophecies about his upcoming demise.
I think your song must end soon.
Because your song is ending, sir. He will knock 4 times.
Is this it? My death?
And the Ood, as you can see, are particularly blatant about it. So the Doctor can be forgiven for trying to avoid more of Davy's meaningless filler. And his own death, I suppose. That being said, I don't think bombing prop comic is the way I would have chosen.
See? Like a car. I locked it like a car. Like, it's funny. No?
Anyways, back to the plot. It seems the Ood have been developing too quickly, and they've been having bad dreams. So they called the Doctor to tuck him in and read him a bedtime story, and oh look, the Ood have a mystic.
Yes, the species that's advancing too rapidly has a mystic. Figure that one out.
Actually, they have an entire mysticism, including this ritual of cheesy plot exposition that's meant to sound, cryptic and wise, but all it really says is...
Scared. The most lonely of all, the king is in his counting house. All the peoples of the universe dream of him.
Look, I understand that you can't dump that much information on us this early in the show, but why all the mystical bullshit? Would it have been too hard to make the Ood take a more scientific approach? To have them sincerely questioning what's happening, but their nascent technology isn't capable of giving them the answers? Why all the mysterious mystical crap?
Why am I doing this again?
When you can balance attack hammer on your head, you will head off your foes with a balanced attack.
The Ood add one more piece of exposition. And that gets the Doctor running towards his time machine like there's no tomorrow. By the way, as an exercise in futility, let's see that part again without all the cryptic and repetitive bullshit.
There is more, Doctor.
What do you mean?
There is no time left, Doctor. This is now as far forward as the timeline goes.
I have to go.
Why did you delay so long? The end of time is coming, Doctor. Already it is in our minds, and soon it will be here.
It'd be a lot better if you could act. Okay, now, this next bit requires a bit of a refresher on the last time we saw the Master. And to be fair, this episode does give you one. But I believe that it is stupid and pointless, so I'm going to do my own. The last time he showed up, the Master rose to power on Earth by pretending to be a human politician. He eventually dropped the pretense to bring in a race of cyber-mutant hoverballs and subjugate the Earth. But until then, he was just Harold Saxon.
He even convinced someone to marry him, too. We're not quite sure how he did that, but given that she shoots him the minute the Doctor topples him from power, I'm guessing it was with cruelty rather than with poetry.
And this entire year of alien invasion was undone. So, no one who is outside of this ship remembers any of that. From the point of view of everyone else, Saxon became Prime Minister, made contact with an alien ambassador that killed President Make-Believe, and then, stuff? We're never actually told what everyone thinks happened to him. Anyways, the Doctor took the Master's body to what I swear looks like the end of the universe, and gave the Time Lord a proper send-off. And Butch here came along afterwards and picked up the Master's ring.
But no, it wasn't the end of time. It was some random quarry. And Butch here is a member of a secret society trying to bring the Master back through...
The secret books of Saxon.
Despite the fact that
no one who is outside of this ship remembers any of that.
And we never saw her or any of these other cultists there. The cult also springs Lucy Saxon from her prison cell where she's serving time for killing her husband. Despite the fact that
no one who is outside of this ship remembers any of that.
And in case you were thinking this happened after the fact, she was tried in secret with no judge and no jury, so really,
no one who is outside of this ship remembers any of that.
Anyways, they need her so they can use her lipstick in a magical ceremony to bring back the Master. And no, it doesn't become science just because you use the phrase biometrical signature. But it does work, and the Master comes back.
Never, never, never dying. Never dying. Never dying.
Albeit with Logorrhea. But plot twist, there's a secret counterfaction seeking to keep him from coming back. Despite the fact that
no one who is outside of this ship remembers any of that.
And his ex-wife even leads it. And she, well,
the secret books of Saxon spoke of the potions of life. And I was never that bright, but my family had contacts. People who were clever enough to calculate the opposite.
This is what we get. This is how we bring the Master back. The whole point of the Master's death was that there was no limit to the number of ways we could bring him back. And this is what we got? A cult that he somehow managed to form while he was on Earth? This?
The truly terrible thing is, this isn't even a bad idea. The Master would set up a cult in his own name. He would gather followers, and he would disguise scientific principles as mysticism. It's even possible that given enough time, a counterfaction would arise and study his texts enough to find a way of interfering with his plans. This is a good idea!
People who are clever enough to calculate the opposite.
Except for that part.
The secret books of Saxon.
And that part. And the fact that the counterfaction arose in only 2 years. And the fact that Lucy Saxon arranged the anti-life potion from her secret government prison cell. And the fact that the cult clearly knew that they were using science but dressed it up as magical ceremony anyway. Oh yeah, and the fact that
no one who was outside of this ship remembers any of that. Stupid or not, the potion causes an explosion.
Potions do that.
The Doctor arrives far too late to do anything, finding only the empty shell of the building and the Master long gone. Mr. Blandy Von Plot Device and his daughter here show us by reviewing the video footage that the Master survived. And he has superpowers.
It's no use starting that now. It only gets worse from here.
So, did someone say something about an anti-life formula?